What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. As you can see, I am filming this outside because there's really no point to film this inside. All of our furniture is gone. So that would just be like a video of me like sitting in a boring room, and nobody wants to see that. So as you can tell by the title of this video, it's pretty obvious what this video is going to be about, but is it? Basically, this is something that I haven't really talked about on social media for multiple reasons. The obvious reason, which is number one, if I said anything about this on social media, I know there's people out there that are creepers or that don't like me that would look up houses for sale in this area and then know my address. And I'm not trying to get axe murdered or stalked or have anthrax sent to my front door. Another reason is we wanted to make sure that everything was like set and for sure happening. For those of you who have been here for a while, you know that I used to live in Los Angeles, and I was there for a long time. So to kind of like start all this off and explain like what exactly is going on, I obviously got pregnant with someone who wanted nothing to do with me or the kid, if you haven't noticed. When that all happened in the beginning, and I moved out here with my parents because this was like the safest place for me mentally and physically during my pregnancy, I knew that I did not want to stay out here. I never was like, all right, Arizona's my home, time to settle down. Like, I don't want to work out here, I don't want to live out here. Like, nothing really appeals to me about the state, hence why I've moved away from Arizona so many times. So I formulated this game plan that I was going to move back to Florida because that is where I was born. It's not just like a crazy whim. I was like, you know what? I was born there. I was really happy there. I like the weather there. I like all the stuff that's there. Like, I'm just gonna save up X amount of money and then I'm gonna go back. So I told my parents that this is what my plan initially was. This is what I want to do with my life, with my son and everything. After I have him, I wanted to wait until about 3 to 6 months before moving out there because, you know, having a newborn is very difficult. So when I told them this plan, they basically were just like, okay, cool, that's nice. I don't think they really like were on board with it or whatever, or even thought twice about it until they started doing research on like how much houses cost out there and all kinds of stuff. And for anyone who knows like the housing market, you know that you can get a pretty big house in Florida for way cheap. The amount of house you'd get out in Florida, it's even cheaper than Arizona. It's way cheaper than California. That's like another like factor in all of this, is like there is no going back to California. Like, as much as I enjoyed working out there and I enjoyed living out there, financially for me with a newborn and a child, he's not going to be a newborn forever, but they're only going to get more expensive as time goes on. It just isn't plausible. I would have no one to help me watch my kid out there. My parents wouldn't be out there. The baby daddy and his family are like a wash, you know, so that wouldn't have worked. Not like I would want them to, they're irresponsible. Basically what I'm trying to say is going back to California, a place that I enjoyed living, not an option. Staying out here, not really something I wanted to do. I decided I was going to move to Florida. Plus, my brother, his wife, and his kids, they're leaving Arizona too. They're not going to Florida. I'm not going to like give away personal information about them in this video, but they're moving to the East Coast. Let's just say that. And they're moving somewhere where none of us would ever consider living. I think my parents looked at houses out in that state and they're like, nope, that's a F no from us. You couldn't pay me to live in the state that they're moving to, but I'm not trying to be negative. Not my thing. Wasn't their thing either. The houses out there they claimed were like ugly and it's freezing. I don't want to live anywhere that's freezing cold. To me, California was borderline way too cold. Arizona is a good temperature, but it can get a little extremely hot in the summer. But other than that, like, the temperature out here is fine to me. It's just a little dry or whatever. Oh, living in Florida, you're gonna hate it. It's so humid. It's like, that's the point, dude. This is where the plot thickens. This is the plot twist of the whole video. This was not my idea, first of all. I cannot take credit for this idea. But basically, my mom was like, if I'm going to leave the West Coast and go live on the East Coast again, there's so many things over here that we've never seen. We've never seen San Francisco. I've never seen the Grand Canyon, and I've lived in the state for like 10 years. Like, I've always wanted to see like Roswell. I've never seen Oregon, Washington, any of those places. My mom came up with this idea. Why don't we just go on a trip across the whole US? We're gonna end up in Florida. My brother's gonna end up in another like northern part of the East Coast. So why don't we just hit all the states on the West Coast and travel up north all the way to the East Coast and then travel down to Florida. This whole thing is going to take like 3 months, but let's just do it. Obviously, we're not just gonna drive through and be like, ooh, cool state, you know, like we're gonna stop in each place, like Yellowstone, everything. YOLO, you only live once, right? I was on board with this idea. I didn't know like how serious this was, so I just kind of waited it out, you know. And in the midst of all of this, before I get completely off subject, me and the baby daddy were trying to work it out for months. Like, I left California in June. Like, I was out here by June. And by July, we were like talking again. I think by August, he was out here visiting me. September, he was out here pretty much every month after I left California. He would come out here and see me. Like at the beginning of September, if you want receipts, I got those, by the way. I don't know why he's telling people I'm like some liar stalker that would leave him alone. Like, you were literally out here apartment hunting with me in September, 2 weeks before you were banging some other girl, but okay, whatever. After all of that for sure fell through, when I first came out here, this was my idea. I was like, you know what, if things do not work out with him, I'm 100% going to Florida. Case closed. And then things kind of started working out with him, so I was like, okay, why don't we live out here for like the first year of Tiger's life, and then once, you know, he's older and we're more established with how to take care of a baby, go back to California. And so he was on board with that plan, came out here, was apartment hunting with me, met some other girl, and just completely blocked me on everything, like found a soulmate, whatever, good for you, dude. But that's when this plan really came into play. It was like, okay, like this is serious. He's not coming back. We don't need to stay out here. My brother and his wife are leaving. Let's just do this. We went to an RV show in October. To like kind of look at RVs. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen those commercials, especially if you live in Arizona, for like these like RV show things.
Convection and microwave.
Yeah, so you can do either. I don't know how to work that.
Well, we'll figure it out.
Oh, this is good.
This one's nice. This is about the right size, Dan.
I know, this is the one I want right here. Wait, I can't get in. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's...
Well, we went to like those, and I got the footage for that.
Meet your needs with more than 42,000 vehicles across North America.
This looks like a slinky
Fireplace.
Yeah, there's a fireplace right there. I don't need a fireplace.
This is nicer than the bedroom I already have.
No. Too much storage. I don't even have it. I don't. Yeah, but we don't need all this. Well, the kid could play. He can't play. He's not even going to be able to
You
walk.
could actually put him in the
Oh, this is
walker.
the one with the bunk beds.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, we didn't want
Oh, it
that.
doesn't have one up top over there.
But you and I could sleep back here, but we'd be awfully close to Allie and her baby screaming.
Yeah, this bedroom's not as swanky as the other ones.
No, hell no, it's not. It's bathroom.
Is this used?
It looks like a composting toilet.
It doesn't smell good in here. I don't. The seat doesn't lean back, but
You don't need it.
get out if you
Oh, but
Seatbelts.
this is the problem.
bunkies.
Yeah, but we already got all the sleep.
we don't need them, but we could store stuff in there.
That's true.
Would be good storage. I like this weathered, like driftwood color.
Oh, that's a big shower.
This one has a regular.
The bathroom's not bad.
No, it's not. Well, that part's not bad.
I just need some new bedding.
Yeah, that's just crap. Dana, I think what they do here is these beds fold up, and you can.
No, we're not having one.
Right here. Oh, this is the toilet sink area, the shower.
Yeah, we said the other one had 2
And
bathrooms.
then this one has, so this is a bath and a half. Taking a shower.
Allie's gonna run out of water. Closet.
You got the radio going.
That's it. That's it on the closet.
So this is one and a half bath. Yeah, get over in the shade there, babe.
Oh, she just said it's 42 feet.
Yeah, it's big.
That's not gonna work.
That's huge.
Anywhere.
Fireplace, giant screen TV.
Ah, washer and dryer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you say that one you looked at had a washer?
It has a spot for a washer dryer, but the washer and dryer they turned it into storage. Yeah.
Oh man, we can all fit in this one.
Yeah.
It's weird that you come in right here.
Yeah, it's like commercial bus.
Yeah, that's good diesel for you.
I was like, we should get this one. Except for as expensive as a house.
Yeah, it's more than most houses. This is really cool though. I mean, look at the tile in the bottom of the shower and stuff.
Yeah, I like how
That's
it's
the same
a.
tile that we have in our bathroom at home, that on the wall.
It's like a full standing shower.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're not gonna bump your head or anything in there.
Is that a dishwasher?
And I really like the flooring in here.
You got a dishwasher?
The ceiling. Does it have a washer dryer? Probably not.
If it does, it's in the very, very back. That's where they normally put them. Let's see if they got it here. They might be right here, Allie. Yep.
Oh wow.
Washer dryer units.
Now this is a really nice one. I like this one the best. Well, obviously I like this one the best. It's $250,000.
Well, if you were going to sell everything and just not buy a house ever, it just makes you a double bed. This might make you a bed. It has a washer dryer. It has like a bathroom suite.
It's got a nice shower.
Yeah. The one right there has.
Ellie, you need to stop worrying about your shower situation so much. And by the way, some of the places we're staying at have restrooms. If you don't like the shower, you can go over there. Sony. Is that a disc player?
Probably a DVD player.
No one has those anymore.
Well, and the other thing
I know.
for $234.
We're not gonna live with a screaming baby in this.
So we went to these, we looked at RVs to figure out like what kind of size we'd want, what kind of like price range we're looking for. If we're going to travel across the whole US, obviously staying in hotels and stuff was just not an option. Like with having cats, a baby, like, you know what I mean? Like, let's just get a motorhome.
Up against this wall, and you can climb in
Oh, I
here and
guess
sleep.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can still use it. It's just...
This has a door.
So this one has a. Oh, it has like an accordion door.
Yeah.
Storage units.
What? It's got like a radio back here?
And a TV.
Oh, that's unnecessary. Well, Rick, come on, man.
Can you
Supposed
do
to
it?
pull this.
Okay, get this.
That's not exactly easy.
We looked at how much it would be to rent one, how much it would be to just flat out buy one, you know what I mean? All of that kind of stuff.
It's small, but it's so modern. I love all the shininess. Oh, look, the bathroom sink's on the outside, so you can use it if somebody's in the bathroom.
Why is this thing so cheap? 2000.
Where would I see that?
It's right here on the sticker thing. I get this price.
Wabi sabi on it right there.
Now I know what some of you guys are thinking, and I'm not going to say the word in this video because evidently YouTube doesn't like the C word. No, I didn't say it in my last video, but I've been told that if you do say it, then it's gonna just demonetize your video. That is a factor in all of this that is kind of questionable. I had some negative person in my DMs recently telling me, you know, they're gonna close the borders. You're not gonna be able to move. You're not gonna be able to leave. I don't think that's how it works. Like you can't tell someone to go home if they sold their house. In June, we were going to hit the road because my dad teaches and my brother teaches, plus like my nieces are in school, so like we were waiting for like everyone to finish with school, which would have been in June, for us to start this trip, for them to move, for us to move, all that stuff. But obviously all the schools are closed now. They've been closed for a while, so we were like, okay, like that's not a factor in this anymore, so we're going to leave in May. Our plan was to hit up like mostly national parks. Obviously like major cities are all shut down. We were hoping by like May, June, this would blow over. One of our first places being Meow Wolf, which I really wanted to go there for a long time. I was like, we have to see Meow Wolf in Roswell, you know, aliens. If for some reason this continues into the end of May, that is going to be an issue because obviously places like Meow Wolf, places like San Francisco are going to be completely shut down. But obviously national parks are open for the most part, except for literally 2 minutes before I came out here to film, they just said on the news the Grand Canyon's closed, and that was one of the places we wanted to see. All I can do at this point is cross my fingers and hope that all this stuff reopens back up by the end of May, because it's the beginning of April right now. It's officially April Fool's Day. So there's another 30 days of and then another 23 days. Hopefully in the next like 50 something days, they'll start reopening stuff, not because the virus is gone, but because they can't keep everything closed forever. Obviously, if the whole trip just gets completely washed, like if the government is just like, nope, everything's closed, you got to stay at home, I don't know, for the next like 4 months, whatever, then at that point we have to just get in the car and drive to Florida and then have the cross-country trip some other time. We put our house up for sale. I'm not exactly sure when, but it was fairly recently and it sold very quickly. Our plan is to put everything into a shipping crate and ship it to Florida. We're not going to rent a U-Haul truck and drive it. It's going to be shipped there, so we could just load it into our house. I don't really want to go too into detail on specifics of what part of Florida we're going to be living in. All I'm going to say is it's going to be in the Orlando area. Like if you say I live in Phoenix, like Phoenix is huge, you know, there's all these like sub-cities like Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa, you know what I mean? Like, where do I live? You don't know. It's the same with Orlando. Like there's Orlando and then there's all these like smaller cities in Orlando. The plan is to live in Orlando in a sub-city that is like really close to Disney World. I wanted everything to be like official before like making this video and putting it out there. I wanted to make sure the RV was purchased before announcing anything, which it is. We are proud owners of a motorhome. Which I will roll that footage. Is it sanitized? Whoa.
Pretty much. goods here. So now that we have power on, we can.
I'm scared of.
Oh, I know what the problem is. Because there's lots of rules. So you got emergency brakes on. It is. You have to have a key in
it. Is there like a leveler on this thing? It feels.
No, there's no levelers, but it's. I'll show you on the bottom. So when you want it to go in,
Oh, geez.
the whole wall moves in.
So when we're in motion, it's going to be like this?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep. And then you can, if you flip this over before you fold it up, the bed, you can actually flip this up, and this and back side's on the back wall, the other, and you have like a day bed back here.
So when this is going down the road, am I supposed to sit over here?
Well, this both these sides have seat belts, but Mom said what you might want to do. We have to experiment with it first, is that we might put the table down in the bed position and put Tiger in the car seat in here, and you can just lounge in here with pillows or whatever. Where you plug into when you get to a park, that just plugs in. Storage unit. And in here, you can see it. There's a leveler in here. It's not a leveler, it's just a stabilizer. And right now I've got it engaged, so the unit won't shake with the sides out.
Yeah, when I was in there, I felt like I was at the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Well, that's only because it's on an incline.
Oh.
And there's storage here. You can put stuff in here. And then there's more storage here. Pretty big storage right here. So you put more junk in there. And this is the generator that you heard running. That's what provides all the power. Here's your gas tank right here. So when you fill it up,
You shut the door and the door covers the gas.
and you can't, no one can get into your gas cans. And that's that.
Oh.
Mom thinks she's going to mount her dealy bob that she thinks we're going to do. She's going to hang it on this thing, she thinks. Or she could hang it here, but she says it won't work. But she could hang it right here and let it hang down here. You just have to finagle it when the door, and then when you get in and take a shower, this is magnetic. So it closes. And then when you close it, when you go to close it, hold handle, press. It squeegees it off and runs it into the tub.
On the thing, there's two notches, and then you just turn the sparker on. Yeah, same thing with all these, put on the second notch. And all this is a sparker, that's all. That's it.
Is the fridge always running?
Yep. Right now it's froze. It's got the freezer's working. If you put your hand in there, it's ice cold. It's got ice
I
on the
see a
bottom.
little miniature ice tray in here.
That's tiny.
Was expedited. This great ship behind me is a 70,000-ton message of hope and solidarity.
His voice.
I told him.
And I've been keeping track of this whole process. You know, we've been doing garage sales to get rid of all of our stuff.
Put your back in it, Dana.
It is cold outside today. TVs all, where are the remotes for these TVs, Alex?
I've been filming all of that. I've been filming the house clearing out. This has been a filming process that has gone on since September, October. The plan is to vlog the entire trip in every state, everything. You're probably thinking, don't you guys have cars or something? We're keeping my car, and I guess it's just going to tow behind the motorhome like 3,000 miles. And my parents sold theirs, got rid of their car, so they don't have one anymore. Some people will probably think we're pretty crazy for doing this, especially during an apocalypse, if that's what you want to call this. The apocalypse was not a thing when we planned this. If it was, obviously we wouldn't be driving into one of the meccas, which is Florida. I guess someone else recently was like, you're driving straight into it. And then there's people that are like, oh, Florida like is so stupid, all those spring breakers are like making it worse, whatever. People in Arizona aren't really social distancing that much either. Like if something seriously changes and we're not gonna do it, we're gonna have to postpone it until this all blows over. Obviously we have the motorhome, the trip can happen anytime. My brother is going to be living up north on the East Coast, so we're going to have to go see them at some point. And we're going to be riding in style. Oh, and not like I plan on doing this ever again in my life, but if I was one of those people who went to EDC Vegas, a really nice motorhome is the way to go. Like, I've never camped at any festival in my life because I just can't stand camping. I think it's disgusting. If I were to go to a festival like that, staying in a hotel like on the Strip and having to drive there obviously is not the move. And staying in a tent is not the move. So like having a motorhome, like I saw people driving motorhomes from LA to EDC in Vegas, and I was like, wow, like that's really the way to do it. I really do want to go to EDC Orlando, and it's literally like a 15-minute drive down the highway. And I mean, unless the traffic is backed up like Vegas, and then it could probably take an hour. I don't know. And obviously, like this whole festival season has been ruined, like Coachella and all that stuff in the past couple months has been ruined for people. So I don't want to like go out and buy a ticket if for some reason like something happens with this. But obviously, it's not going to happen until November. That's a long time from now, but it is really exciting to know that I will be out there and living my life. Universal is doing horror nights. There's Disney World. Hopefully I have a season pass or I'm working there. That is like one of the ultimate goals, is to work at Disney or Universal Studios, because like anyone who knows me knows I know so many random facts about those places. Like they should hire me just to be a tour guide. This has been something that's been in the works for a while. This has been a dream of mine for years. I didn't just decide like, hey, I should move to Florida. When I lived in California, when people would ask me where would you live other than California, my answer was always Florida. It is one of my favorite states. Our shipping crate comes on the 9th, so that's why I really needed to like get on this and film this.
You want to see what it looks like?
Oh dang, that's really loaded.
Yep, that's why I measured everything so I know what it fit.
It's going all the way to Florida.
Stuffed all the way to both sides and to the top.
Is there gonna be lizards in there when we get there?
I hope not.
There's no turning back now. We're for sure moving to Florida. I'm going to show you guys a map of the route we are planning on taking. Obviously, if you lived in Arizona, you would just go straight through New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, and then be in Florida. But we're actually going the complete opposite way. We're not going through Texas at all, or Louisiana. I've been to Louisiana before. I was just really young, so I don't remember it. But I really want to see the French Quarter and stuff someday. And so obviously I am like a couple hour flight away from the French Quarter, which is really cool. And Mardi Gras, which I don't drink, but maybe someday I'll end up at Mardi Gras. Supposedly like the French Quarter is like one of the most haunted places in the US. So that is like one of the reasons why I would want to go there. But there's tons of places I want to see. Obviously we're not going to go through New York and stuff because that's like a struggle with a motorhome and it's really out of the way. But all the other places on the top of the US and down the East Coast is the plan that we are going to see. And who knows, now that we have a motorhome, maybe we'll go through every state. Maybe we'll just randomly take trips all over the place. That is the big secret I've been hiding for months. I've been basically keeping it under wraps that I knew we were going to move and buy this motorhome and do this whole thing. Like, all of our reservations are booked. Everything is good to go. I have to say this and put this video out here at some point, and here it is. If you like this video, obviously make sure to like it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel because it is going to get so much more interesting. I don't even know what I'm about to be filming in the next couple months. And obviously leave a comment down below. I respond to all the comments, or at least acknowledge your comment. Unless the comment is really mean or weird, obviously I'm not going to acknowledge it, but like everyone else, I go through and respond or like everyone's comments, so make sure to leave a comment. Also, I link in the description all of my other social medias, including my son's, so please check them out and follow. That is it for this video, and I will see you guys next time in the next video. Bye!